What's up, beautiful people? I hope you're all having a wonderful Monday. It's not a case of the Mondays, actually it is, but Monday should be a good day because every day should be a good day. None of us be working this fucking 9 to 5, 5 day a week shit anymore. Come on. That's that's obsolete, man. Like we're all entrepreneurs now, especially if you're in the spiritual community. We're all, if you're not, if you still have a 9 to 5 job, we're all working on that side hustle that is creating that new flow in life, right? So a lot of big exciting things going on this week. I'm excited to talk about it with you. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. And thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, and all that fun stuff. We got a lot to talk about this week. So today we are starting the week off with a bang, with the moon conjuncting Uranus in his dark moon phase on its way to the new moon at 21 degrees of Taurus tomorrow. So I would like to share with you guys the inside degrees of this new moon, because I feel like this energy sort of overshadows the energy of this whole week, if not this whole month, right? Check this out. It says, a statue of Hermes decked with brightly colored garlands. Hermetic wisdom revived. Two extreme polarities, the far inside and the far outside. Expressively playful, tricky, fluent, and engaging. Inwardly contemplative, studious, brooding, and lost to the world. Guided from within to stay centered, to stay entirely secluded and solitary in your inner life, yet transmuting your solemnities into accessible bits and pieces in all familiar contexts. A way to render unto Caesar and still serve the highest, an arduous track, the ultimate challenge to throw the self off and take the self on as it is appropriate. Strategic incarnation under special assignment. Now, I know I'm feeling this energy big time of being under special assignment in particular, all right? With all this energy of Uranus, this is really talking about our life purpose. Coming into a deeper understanding of what our life purpose is, stepping out of the energies that have been a control dynamic that has been holding us back, right? This is a real breakthrough week. This is a lot of, in regards to our ethics, morals, our value systems in general. What we are no longer aligned with as far as our values are concerned is going to start falling out of our life. Now, we can either fight this, Saturn in Aquarius is going to be like that fight to want to keep things under control or keep things rigid, right? And on the other hand, this is really getting this super intense pull to this future, right? Like this super intense, man, I got to do this. I got to move forward because our life purpose is calling us. Now, if you don't have a clear understanding or vision of what your life purpose is, then that could be proving to be a little bit difficult. All right. That is going to bring up some confusion, maybe about how you transfer or translate information, meaning like how we channel, right? How we guide. When we go through a really deep transformation process, the way that we channel information shifts, it changes. And we could go through a period of time where it feels cloudy, feel not sure. I know I've been feeling that. That's why I haven't been on here as much as I usually am, because I've been going way within sort of this hermit mode, energetically, really doing some deep reflecting about where I'm at, about what energy I've been manifesting around my life, and about these next chapters coming into play that are still very unknown. There's still a lot of, I can feel it coming. You can feel that sense coming, and you can feel this pull towards the future, but it's a little slow. So because it's a little slow, it can feel like, let's just get there. I just want to go. I just want to do this, right? But this requires a lot of internal work, especially if we still have things that are lingering around that we haven't learned yet. So if there's any kind of disharmony in your life right now, this is a very deep, deep lesson than when what you're probably putting, labeling it or attaching it to, meaning that when we're trying to figure something out, we have to put it in a box, right? We have to label it. We have to put form to it in some way, shape, or form. But this form, it's not coming together like the way that we want it to, because Uranus is just keep going and going and bam, 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 bam. fucking reminds me of, you ever seen the show? This is going to date me right now, but the show The Dinosaurs back in like the late 90s. It was like a show about dinosaurs, and there was this little baby dinosaur. I can't remember his name, but he always had a pot and pan, and he was always fucking banging on mommy's head. Not the mama. That's kind of how I feel what this energy is like right now. It's like, there's this thing banging us on the head, but it's banging us on the head to get us to look deeper within, to realize what the hell is going on, not to move forward. It's making us feel like we want to like, all right, let's fucking go. But right, Crystal, that fucking show is hilarious. Now, I actually think they have it on Netflix or Hulu, one of those things. So go check out Dinosaurs, a little baby dinosaur, not the mama. That's just going to stick in your head for like a month now. Anyways, but it's beating you over your head because you need to look within and address this part of our shadow that is essentially banging on our head to get our attention. So I can be like, this is the part of our consciousness that we have resistance to that is still trying to teach us something, right? It has to. And we have to fucking listen to it. This is the shadow work. And sometimes the shadow work, when it triggers the fucking ego, right? Like that, it can make us think, make our ego think that we're supposed to be going in one direction when really it's supposed to be going in another direction. So with all these energies of the eclipses coming up too, we can feel the eclipse energy coming, right? And now that Pluto is retrograde, now I do want to say Pluto is making an amazing aspect to the North Node and to this. Actually, wait, let me see here. Pluto is. So that's a quadrate, okay, to the North Node, which is past life shit, past life gifts, past life difficulties, past life lessons, past life everything. All right, and it is trining over to the sun. So the sun's coming into the trine, meaning it's not quite there yet. It's not quite exact. It'll be exact right around 26 degrees. But with this new moon, basically with being within orb to trine Pluto, this means that all this deep, intense, dark work that we've been doing in our shadow, all the results of that work are going to start to manifest super fucking fast now, especially because Pluto is still basically sitting still, right? It's going to start to move internally. We're going to start to get these, okay, oh yeah, all right. And then once one thing hits, it's going to be a ripple effect, domino effect. And it's going to be boom, 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 boom. A lot of unexpected new surprises, releases, because it's been this one deep little thing, like a thorn in our fucking spine that has been just like gnawing at us, trying to teach us something, but we've essentially been looking at it in one direction. And then finally, with these energies, especially with the Uranus being repeatedly activated, and then we're going to have the Uranus square Saturn again in June, and Saturn's going to be retrograde, Uranus is going to be direct, and it's actually going to be moving quicker and going forward. So Uranus is going to be the stronger of the two energies that there. So May and June, big for letting go, big for stepping into these new unexpected chapters and areas of our life that are going to really, really bring us into where we're meant to be at our vibration. But it's also going to challenge us. Like, it's going to require 100% of all of us. We are being called into our life purpose, guys. Okay. And this life purpose is really on the next level. We always known, like deep down, like, yeah, I know I need to do this, but maybe not having the right resources, or feeling like you don't have enough, or feeling like you don't have enough knowledge of the people, or feeling like you don't have enough something of whatever, right? This is coming to the understanding that no, we do have everything that we need, and don't go chase it. Allow it to come, but we have to let it come in divine time. The biggest thing is when we're waiting, we're in that waiting game, and we're in that waiting game because we're doing other deeper work that we may not even be consciously aware of. But in that waiting game, we start to doubt, we start to get worried, we start to get in our head, right? At least for me, especially if you have a lot of cardinal energy in your chart. Yep, I know I do. And even if you have a lot of fixed energy, because the nodes are immutable energies, right? So this is all about adapting to change. And we all have our own challenges or resistances to change, but this change is becoming more and more clear. And pretty much all this week, we have this yod, all right? That is the learning point. Basically, if you guys don't know what yod is, it's also known as the finger of God. And when it is transiting, this is for the collective consciousness of letting go of belief systems that no longer serve. identifying and realizing ways that we sabotage ourselves through thought, our beliefs that keep us in lack. This is a lot of looking at lack-based belief systems. All right. When it comes to love, when it comes to funny, when it comes to money, when it comes to funny money, when it comes to like the values and morals and ethics of the way that we live emotionally, and in our life, with Mars being sextile to Uranus, this is redefining and relooking at like, okay, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have, this, but in order to have that, I have to stop, telling myself this, I have to stop doing that. And it all comes down to our belief systems, right? Now we have sort of like a yacht and a half here coming into the new moon tomorrow. And I talk about that extensively in my new moon energy report. But basically, to go over it, it's two quincunxes without a sextile. So it's like the more difficult parts, but this is still relevant in my opinion, as to something very karmic, very, very fated that's coming around. And the learning lesson of that is Mars in Cancer. All right, it's quincunx to the south node, and it's also quincunx over to Saturn. So Mars is coming into, and it'll be in quincunx to Saturn now for a couple weeks, especially as Saturn is getting ready to go retrograde. This energy could last, pretty much the rest of the month. So with that lesson, again, this comes down to stepping into the Uranian energy of growth, of getting out of our comfort zone, of looking at what we believe and understand and represent as a moral and ethical foundation in our life that brings us into our future. Because if you want to make more money, if you want to help more people, if you want to really step into your power of love and doing what it is that you love to do, you need to be able to have healthy, solid boundaries, right? So you don't give your power away. And you need to be able to be sure of yourself, because other people will come in and try to convince you that your shit is wrong and that you should do it this way and their shit is right. When you, if you look at people, then they're better than you are. What do you call that? Idolize or idealize people, right? Or if you look at people that are like they're below you, that's also bullshit too, because we're all equal. We're all on the same playing field. We all have the same capacity and ability. And if you're really loving yourself and you're really being a leader and stepping into your true purpose, it's about lifting others up, not shoving people down and not trying to get people to follow you, but rather just sharing the love that you have for yourself and for humanity, and inviting people to come do it with you. Now, and then of course we're all going to have our ups and downs going through this process, but while you're going through your ups and downs, if you're able to consistently help others or be there for others, that is where you're really coming from love and allowing yourself to grow while you might be in, difficulty or hardship or struggling with yourself in some way, shape, or form, right? So it's really important to be the leader of your own life, be the CEO of your own reality, and decide, okay, this is what I'm willing to, do or establish or move through or put up with. No, I don't even like to say put up with. All right. This is what I'm willing to be. This is who I am. And you are not going to cross these boundaries. If you do, this is what will happen. I'm going to, take this action. And sometimes we can get tested, right? And there's a lot of testing going on right now, because in order to be able to sit in that vibration of our highest, greatest self, we cannot give in to these, because we're going to be tested, especially when we're shining our light bright. Man, that's when all the attacks come in, dude. That's why this is a lifestyle. That's why this is spiritual body building. It is a lifestyle that we create in order to practice these things consistently and surround ourselves with others that are also practicing them consistently, so that we can support each other in leadership of our own lives, where there is no expectation, and of course we're human, these things pop up, but the foundation of everything coming from love is no expectation, just loving yourself, loving the people that you're around, loving what you're creating, and building and expanding and having a ripple effect in that loving energy. Now, I get it. I know that a lot of us, when we're going through something, it's difficult to be like that, but that's also where the vulnerability comes into play. Allowing ourselves to receive help. For me, it's very difficult to receive help. It's very difficult to rely on others, and that's something that I've been working on a lot. That's been a big self-sabotaging energy that I have worked through, right? So allow yourself to receive, and allow yourself to allowing yourself essentially to receive, from the universe is manifestation. So where is it that you're blocking your own abundance and manifestation through trying to control things? That is what this Saturn Uranus square is really all about throughout this entire year. Where do you stop your magic from coming through? I know I've been learning a lot about this, in the last couple months, and I'm incredibly grateful to be able to always seem to come through it, a little bit smarter, a little bit more grounded, a little bit more grateful for my life, right? We've all been through shit, guys. We've all been through heartbreak. We've all been through abandonment and rejection. Everybody these days comes from a dysfunctional family, right? Well, like that's just the way it is right now, but that's also why we're all doing the work. So we don't have to keep doing that. So we can actually change things for our children and for, the people that are going to be coming after us in this life. Having a hard time asking for help comes from, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, self-worth, self-confidence issues. And this is all that's coming up here in this new moon with this yod between Mars and Uranus sextile, which is a beautiful, beautiful energy, man. Oh my God, it's a beautiful energy. So, let that open you up. Let it just open up the floodgates of this new emotional dynamic that we're stepping into, and letting go of belief systems and letting go of the narrative. Really, everything out there in the fucking world is all negative. It's all bullshit. Let go. Don't poison yourself with this fear-mongering bullshit. All right. I mean, I know anybody that's watching this is definitely not drinking that Kool-Aid, but through living our own truth in our own life and being full of life and light, the people that are ready and willing to do the work to grow and to step into their own greatness are going to come reach out. We are a magnet. We don't have to go chase it, right? You don't go around trying to wake people up. You live your best life, and the people that are ready to wake up will be attracted to you like a moth to a flame, and they'll come get some. I promise you that. And I mean, the shit that I'm seeing right now, guys, with so many people just opening up healing centers and creating these new, energetic therapies and modalities that are really, really, it's taking tradition and like futuristic technological inspiration, and it's like fusing it together. Right. So it's almost like the MMA of spirituality. Like people are going around learning this, and they're taking it and they're creating their own thing from it. That's basically what I've done. Right. So I think that's the best way. And that's where, we are the bridge between tradition and the future. So we have, let's see, on the 13th, I believe. What is happening on the 13th? I thought something was happening on the 13th. No. Yes, 13th. Okay, so the 13th we have Jupiter going into Pisces, and Jupiter will be in Pisces till about the middle of July. So this is going to be good. This is going to be exciting, really, actually, because Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces before Neptune was discovered. The modern ruler or the ancient ruler, I can't remember the terminology right now, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? So Jupiter loves being in Pisces. And so, okay, this kind of go in two directions. This is really going to accelerate and open up our spiritual gifts, our intuitive guidance, our extrasensory perceptions. It can also, if we're not tuning into that higher vibration, the lower vibration of this could be really opening up a window to addiction, to confusion, to frustration, to get in your, because the energy is going to be open up so much, especially sitting in there with Pisces. Once Jupiter actually conjuncts Pisces in 2022, that's going to be a whole new level of psychic capacity. I mean, we're going to see a massive jump in shit that we can do. Probably some telekinesis, and like the telepathic connection between people is going to be nuts. That's when people are really just going to connect deeply. But while it's still here, okay, this is just it's bringing a new sort of level of connection to our spiritual gifts. And depending on what house this is in your natal chart, you should look at that, because This is really going to amplify that energy. For me, it's in my 11th house, right? So this for me is large groups of people, my vision, right? And healing too. So very, very exciting stuff. Jupiter moving into Pisces, and it's going to be there for a little bit. And this is very rare too, because normally Pisces, Jupiter sits in a sign for about a year, right? A lot of creative energy too, like a lot of just. This is where, guys, this is where our dreams can really start to manifest and come true. Our manifestation abilities are going to be on fleek, yo. I don't really like that word, but I just felt compelled to say it. On fleek. What the fuck does that even mean? Fleek. Some kids these days. Guess I'm showing my age there, right? All right. So on let's see, 16th. What are we at today? Yeah, today's okay. So we have right now we have Mercury conjunct the North Node. Now Mercury is going into shadow, and the Mercury retrograde this year is going to be really, really weird. I'll talk about that later in the week when it actually gets ready to do so. But we're now stepping into this week. We're really stepping into this mutable energy. So that fixed, frustrating, irritating, I just want to get things going. Now things are going to start moving forward, but it's going to start moving forward more in here first before it starts moving out there. But we may start to see things moving around out in our reality pretty well too. And next week, May 16th, well, on the 17th, it'll be Venus will be exactly conjunct the North Node, and Black Moon Lilith is not far behind it. So now Black Moon Lilith is also in Gemini. So this is where I have Black Moon Lilith in Gemini natally. So this is where our attitude can become very seductive, right? Even the way that we use our words can be very sexy or sexual, or feel that way. Anyways, also this so if you're having a debate or if you're discussing something, like there can be this sort of like really seductive tone to it. All right, so hey, go with it, forget about it, right? Enjoy it. It's also good for like talking shit and talking dirty and stuff like that. So however you want to utilize that Black Moon Lilith energy. It's also though, like, really, this is the part of the ego, that like rebellious part of the ego that is really smart and really is really good at something. Like if you're really good at debating, or if you're really good at talking about a certain topic, you can sit there like, you're about to get into like an argument or a debate, say like about the jab, right? And you're having a debate with someone that is opposite of you. You could really just know how to feel the emotions of it and just work your way around it and be like, okay, all right, I'm just going to trigger this fucker just because I can, just have fun with them. Shit like that. So be careful, because you don't want to trigger people too much. All right. Because you're right. And that's okay. But some people just, they don't care, or they don't have the capacity to deal with that. So this can also be like a haha bitch, I'm smarter than you kind of attitude. So take it easy with that shit. Okay. Just, be nice, but utilize it to help people grow and get out of their own fucking way. This is a really good energy to help people see things and get out of their own stubborn fucking self-limiting beliefs or ideas or situations, or at least promote creative thought. Like, you can get people to like wonder, what if, what if they're right? Or what if that was a case? Or what, so allow that to simmer in there. All right. And then when the hell do we have, it's not until the 23rd, that Saturn will be going retrograde. So we still have about a week, right? And which is okay. That just means that that's the Saturn energy, as a planet starts to slow down and Saturn's moving very, very slow. It's sitting in 13 degrees now for a while. So this 13-degree point is going to be very, very significant, because this is really where the places that we have been sabotaging ourselves with our control dynamics are going to show their face. And when it goes retrograde, it's going to help us see and realize, understand that, oh shit, I have been sabotaging myself, or I have been putting my foot in my mouth and saying this thing or taking this action that has just really been screwing me over big time. I'm sorry, right? Like, you could just, I'm sorry, self, or like, I love you, self, my bad for not seeing it. My ego was getting a little carried away. We always get there. There are always going to be times in our life where our ego gets a little carried away, or like, we say something out of passion and we don't mean it, and then like, fuck, right? So this is where we really have to keep our impulses in check, because we still do have the sun in Taurus, and the sun in Taurus is a very fixed mindset. It's a fixed belief system. But with Uranus in there, this fixedness is not, it's in a constant state of like a vibration that is slightly outside of our comfort zone. So it's like every time we feel like we're gonna get a comfort zone, it's like I gotta move it a little bit, and then the aha moment, boom, yep, and then move it a little bit, and aha, boom, and over and over and over again, right? But as the sun moves away from Uranus, we're implementing and we're embodying these differences. And this new moon is going to be, I feel, very, very big and powerful with really stepping into this new version of like, yes, this is who I am. My values and morals are in alignment. I'm ready to take charge. I'm ready to move forward. Like stepping into that, like knowing that I got this, right? I got this. And with Venus conjuncting the North Node now, this is looking at, you know, okay, this is how I need to receive. This is how I need to think. And this is where a lot of things, you know, our destiny that's calling us forward, the resources that we need, or the information that we need, the aha moments, maybe the money, the people that we need to be on our side, whatever the case may be. This is where these things will start to just come in out of fucking nowhere, right? And because our heart is opening. And typically speaking, these things don't come in a way that feel direct until you connect the dots and outside. But our vibration is changing, guys, and it's changing significantly. But that's a very deep subconscious levels, because these need to shift and change before we step into the eclipse season, which is going to be the big bang. It's time to go. It's like new chapter, new life, bang. Let's go. Let's get it. Because that's where we need to be confident already. That's where we need to have this foundation reset. We had to let go of all that denser energy, because now that we're in this new vibration, we're getting infused, bam, with all this brand new higher vibrational codes to really take action and step into our new chapter, especially with the nodes now in the last decan, right? This is taking action. The first decan is bringing stuff up. The second decan is processing a lot of this new stuff. The third decan is about mastering, taking action, and fulfilling the destiny of these nodal processes. So look in your natal chart to see what houses the nodes are in right now, and you can get a better idea for where this information or this energy is affecting you. For me, this is in right now to my second and eighth house. North node's in my second house. And I've been having a lot of things that have to do with self-worth, self-confidence, feeling like I deserve to be bigger and more influential and better, and making more money and creating more resources based on that. So a lot of like, you know, what is it when, you know, things come up about self-worth, self-confidence? Well, jealousy, envy, you know, shame, guilt, not feeling, you know, important enough, not feeling, you know, all these things from childhood, really abandonment and rejection issues. So this is how you can kind of see where these things are coming up for you and step into your power in your truth. Honestly, this is really, really communication in your own mind between your higher self and your ego about what your deeper truth really is and what parts of your ego are toxic. And they were serving you at one point, this old vibration you're living in, but they're not serving you anymore. That's done. And now we're bringing in a new level of validation, I would say, from the universe, which the validation comes from the universe when we walk in faith. So the more faith that you're walking in, and the more that you're allowing yourself to flourish and to step into that discomfort of vulnerability and to honor your heart and honor the process of this, you know, this difficult stuff, you're going to go far. Okay. Now, the end result, like I know for me, a lot of times I have Neptune conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius in my eighth house. So with that conjunction, right, like I see the big picture, but I don't really see the steps or like the smaller details about it. So when I was younger and I would see these big visions, like they would never fucking come. And I'd be like, wow, I'm just delusional. But now I realize that these big picture things that I see, sometimes my ego attaches to a person, place, or thing, right, that I want it to happen with that time. But it actually usually ends up coming to fruition years later, like 2, 3, 4 years later. So being able to see my future and then not happening will get me, debilitated and depressed and sad and have to struggle and fight through this fucking years of shit. And then it would happen and be like, oh, wow. Okay, well, if I only just trusted the fucking process, then listen to this guidance. But I had to learn these things in the process. And I had to go through all these lower vibration I have Chiron on the cusp of my first and second house. That self-worth, that self-confidence issues. I've always had a big struggle with self-confidence, believe it or not, right? So I got into bodybuilding. That's why I went EOD in the military, because I thought it was, tough guy, Billy Badass kind of thing. But, a lot of these things I did to, validate this, feeling of not being good enough. And, in the last like 6-7 years, Mother Ayahuasca and all these plant medicines have really taught me how to step into that. And while being able to hold on to everything that I built here and, humbling myself into understanding that, I got to do it because I want to love myself and take care of myself, not for validation and not for getting, information or, validation from the outside world to make me feel good. Because at the end of the day, that's just going to drive you down a really dark path. And it's very prevalent in the bodybuilding industry. A lot of people you see narcissistic and, I want to look like this person or that person, or they get so nitpicky, especially like stepping in front of judges, right? Basically living your life to be judged by other people. You're judging yourself that way. So, I got to get this more perfect, that more perfect. My tits aren't big enough. My ass is not full enough. My biceps need to be bigger. My shoulders need to be bigger around her. My quads need to be bigger. Dude, fuck all that. Do it because you feel good, because you want to be in great health, not because you're worried about a fucking judge trying to tell you what you need to do better or worse, because it's all subjective, right? Like it's such a scandalous industry. That's why I'm not really a big fan of that industry anymore. But I do love the philosophy. When you're in a high vibration, it's and you see like some of the greatest, athletic competitors ever hold on to that higher vibration. That's why they did so well. That's why they stood out from the crowd, because they came from love and because they understood these principles and concepts, right? So allow these lower vibrational energies to guide you. Don't let it beat you up. Okay. Trust me. I get it. I've allowed it to beat me up a lot in my life, but we just need to be us, and we're accepted for us. But the big thing is we have to accept ourselves for us. And this is what Uranus is really showing us. All right. Because that is all based on your values and your morals and the system or the code in which that you live your life with. Okay. So we're really refining that code right now. And we're looking over with a fine-tooth comb. What are the things that we have in our life right now that is violating that code? And then not creating more resistance, but rather accepting it and letting it, allowing it to teach us with peace and love in our heart. And when we do that, you'll find that those things that are resistant just fall away. There's no need to cause a scene. There's no need to even have a conversation. This is about how you are dealing with the energy within yourself. And when you start to vibrate and you let go of the attachment to this energy, the energies in the resistance just fall away. There's nothing more that needs to be done. So allow the yester you to die off. Allow the toxicity that you used to be congruent with, that you are no longer congruent with, allow that to just be yesterday. There's nothing that you have to actively do. The idea that you have to say something or that you have to take some kind of action is actually ego-driven. Okay? We have to communicate. Now, communicating or journaling, writing it down, like maybe communicating to open up your throat chakra, but that's still you doing it for yourself. So there's no need to try to get a point across to anybody. There's no need to try to convince anyone of anything, including yourself. All right? If you're trying to convince, or if you're trying to figure out a mode of transportation, so to speak, to get this out, then you're going about it, in a lower vibrational way. One of my favorite songs during ayahuasca ceremony, right, is when you let go of fear, the truth will appear, so simple and clear. And there is so much beautiful truth to that. When you let go of fear, the truth will appear. What's up, Steve? So simple and clear. There's no confusion to it. There's no complexity to it. The complexity is our emotional entanglement with that energy, with that vibration. So when we detangle our emotion from it and we just let it be what it is, then the answer comes, then we understand what it is, and then we learn the lesson from it, and then we just let it the fuck go. So it's time, as we step into this new energy, right, of this Taurus new moon, to just let it go. Just sitting with yourself right here. Just feel it. Just, the fuck am I trying to control and why? It doesn't matter. But this control feels heavy. This control feels like we're trapped. Like we're in some kind of cage because we're creating this cage out of fear. So when we sit in our present moment, we realize I'm sitting in a house or I'm sitting wherever I'm at, right? Nobody's shooting at me. I have all my limbs, all my fingers and toes. I'm not starving. You know, like the world is in shambles, but fuck it, who cares? Right now in my fucking reality, right? Everything's okay. My kids are, you know, fed, they're alive. You know, whatever your situation is, you realize that there's nothing in the present moment that is really creating havoc. And if there is, then you're really not in the, you're yelling or you're fighting or you're in your ego, or you're in your head or something like that. So bring yourself into the present moment and just realize that everything is fucking fine. And the present moment is the only thing that even really matters. Right now, it's really important to do that, to detach from all the, because there's so much distraction and confusion and propaganda out there that is just twisting the brain, and just even being energetically connected like we are to the collective consciousness in itself is stressful. It feels heavy, right? So this is just a reminder that you got to connect with like-minded people that are going to help build you up and help hold you accountable and help you grow and learn, right? So I encourage you to check out the Opportunity Community. You can go to my website, spiritualbodybuilder.com. I'd love to have you guys there. And thank you for all you guys here that are in the Opportunity Community representing. I appreciate you. And just remind yourself, you know, like everything is okay. And this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what makes me me. And anything that's outside of that, if you keep trying to convince someone, or in a job where you have to be around somebody that is just trying to convince you that you're somebody that you're not, or that there's something wrong with you, or blah, 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 you got to just, okay, dude, fine, you're right. You're right. I don't want to be right about this. I want to be happy. Sometimes it's about either being right or being happy. Think about that one, because our control dynamic makes us want to be right. And whether we're right or we're not, it doesn't fucking matter. Because if we're not happy and we're right, then that means that we're not accepting our current circumstances, which is resistance, which is ego, which is self-worth, blah, blah, blah. It all goes back to the same shit, right? Right? Sacred light keeper, like a fart, let it go. Yes, you do not want to hold them shits in, because that is what becomes shitty ideas. Oh man, you guys are awesome. I love it. So this new moon is going to be very, very auspicious, very good. Now we do have Jupiter also making a, let me come back to the current energies here. Jupiter is also squaring over to Venus. That would be Venus. So Jupiter square Venus. And with Jupiter at 29 degrees of Aquarius, this is sort of popping we could have people or groups, or like things like a lot of new people coming in that are going to really test our how we receive, right? This could be leveling us up, or this could be saying, hey, you got to get rid of this shit, right? What's up, Sonia, my trainer? So, you know, to me, even if Jupiter is in a square, it's not really a bad thing. It's really more like an opportunity for us to really look at what we're dealing with. And this is, of course, all about receiving, right? Or if you're in a current relationship, really doing some revamping and seeing like, okay, what is not acceptable in this situation? Or what am I sacrificing And that's keeping me from my fullest potential, right? And with this yod basically sitting here, Mars is the fast moving planet. Actually, I'm gonna go forward here a little bit and see just how long this is going to be going on. Okay, so by the 13th, this yod will be over, but that's a pretty long yod. And there's the quincunx between Mars and Saturn that is also lasting about this time. So literally, like almost 2 solid yods here going on. A lot of quincunx energy. So that quincunx energy is this very like something's changing. I don't know what it is. It's like this feeling that's around you, sort of like the feeling going in the future where you feel like you're being called into something, but you're ready to jump, but you're not really okay. Let's go. We're just waiting for that bang, but it's just not coming. Like, and then as you're waiting there, sitting there, you realize, oh fuck, there's something else to do around here. I don't really know what it is. It's this feeling, but you can't quite put your finger on what you're feeling. And then we get caught in the trap of trying to figure this shit out. And that is one of the big things here that is going to sabotage at least the rate in which that we process this stuff. Okay. I mean, look, what's meant for us is going to happen. We can go kicking and screaming, or we can go, more peacefully. Of course, I think we'd all prefer the peaceful way, right? But that is not always how it works. So if you're going through a difficult time right now, you're facing your very core abandonment and rejection issues that need to be looked at and faced and overcome. The bottom line, because once this eclipse season hits, all right, and we're coming into it, it's go time, baby. Shit's going to start moving fast and changing very, very quickly. All right. What do I think about the Schumann Resonance lately, brother? What's up, Taylor? I mean, the Schumann Resonance has been going wild now for, I could say, a good solid year and a half. I mean, we've been seeing like it's been pinging on this threshold where it's just been absolutely nuts. I think that there's a lot of artificial things that are influencing that, which is unfortunate. But also, I think that with the new 5G technology, I think it's also, I think that's what's messing with the Schumann's resonance too. It's just another identifier of how deeply and fundamental the changes that we're going through are, right? So look, humanity, people are not designed or meant to go through this much change this quickly. That's why we see a lot of people just losing their fucking shit, and a lot of people falling for the Kool-Aid because they're so emotionally distraught and overwhelmed that they're just blindly listening to, so-called officials and people of power that they think have their best interests at heart. But we have had a lot of people born, that have gone through shit, that are, empaths and indigos and all the, rainbow children that we came here in order to be able to handle this energy. And this is actually attuning us to who we are meant to be. All right. But we still have to be careful with the propaganda and with all the bullshit, because it can be very, very confusing and very seductive too. That's a South Node and Sagittarius, the seduction of feeding that comfort, right? There's a certain level of comfort that because everything is so fucking uncomfortable right now, right? There's a certain level of comfort where we're all being seduced into that we have to be really aware of and really careful of falling into that trap. All right, but I'm feeling once Saturn goes retrograde, the Uranus energy is really going to sort of take over, because now Saturn is going within. It's going to be spending most of its time revamping and re-understanding or recreating these control dynamics in our consciousness and in our ego. And Uranus is like, all right, time to giddy up towards our destiny, right? Yeah, in this next couple weeks, actually, really, I mean, I'd say this next 2 months, we're going to see a lot more people waking up too. And a lot more people, we're going to be seeing a lot of really weird shit happening because of the jab. And we've seen a lot more new variants and illnesses and issues. And I'm grateful to have surrounded myself with very just next level, naturopath practitioners, doctors, and healers and medicine men and women that are working, myself included, creating and working with new ways of healing all these potential new issues that all this shit is creating, right? So I'm definitely feel like I'm on the front lines of that. I got some super, super cool next level healing modalities that I'm working with in order to deal with um, the absolute influx, that is about to happen with all these injuries that are going to happen with that jab. I'm telling you what, it's gonna change things. It's gonna change a lot. But me personally, I'm not worried about like shedding, or I'm not worried about any of it, because I believe that I was built to withstand that shit. I made it through when I went to Iraq, and I got poisoned from that shit, and my body is just this is why I do what I do, because I figured it out for myself, and now I help other people figure it out. But anyways, very, very. I hope for those who got the jab. What did you? Oh yeah, well, it's crazy. I have quite a few friends and like people that really, really believe this stuff, and it really is sad. But they're choosing their fate, and we have to choose ours too. We're basically choosing sides right now, and that's okay. That's where we all have to stick together, really, and continue to do our research and work and grow and share and be the best version of ourselves. Because really, this is like the game of Red Rover, guys. This is the 3D versus the 5D, and there's a lot of people there in the middle that are unsure, indecisive, and don't really know what to do. So we have to be willing and open, and we do that through loving ourselves, through doing our inner work, and through living through our heart center. This is Christ consciousness, guys. We're basically being asked to live our life in Christ consciousness, and not fall backwards into the fear-based energies. But again, this is like contest prep for spiritual life, because there is no rest. It has to be a lifestyle. It has to be something that you just live. And when you do, you'll find that you just draw in, leaders that will draw in other leaders and practitioners and people that just want a better humanity. So keep doing your work. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you for tuning in and for being a part of my community, right? And for doing the work on yourself, because we need more and more people, right? And look, the work doesn't have to be hard. All right, we make it hard. I know I make work hard for me, probably too often. But I also, when I'm in flow state, it doesn't feel like work to me. I feel passionate, and I love helping people, right? Regular detoxes should help for sure. I definitely live my life doing detoxes a lot, all the time. I just got a new type of this NAD. I got a subcutaneous injection of NAD from a doctor friend of mine. It's called BD NAD, brain. I'll have to look it up. It's supposed to be the highest quality, blah, blah, blah. I didn't really feel anything much different than from the other types of NAD that I've done, but NAD is NAD. It's just a molecule. So yeah, everybody likes to tout that, their shit's the best shit, but NAD in and of itself is an amazing detox, an amazing, powerful, anti-aging, and it's like it's like the cellular recharging factor for your mitochondria. And mitochondrial dysfunction is one of the number one, things that is associated with autoimmune disease, right? So brain-derived nootropic factor, BDNF is one of the things that's affected by NAD, but a lot of things affect that. Microdosing with mushrooms is also a really great way to activate BDNF too. So little FYI. Yeah. So I hope you guys have a wonderful and amazing week. Step into this knowing of what you deserve, what you want, and your self-love and your self-confidence. And I love you all very much. And if you'd like a reading from me, please go to spiritualbodybuilder.com or click the link in my bio, and I would love to work with you. And other than that, guys, I will see you beautiful people on the next weekly report. All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful week.